you wonder, you know, where is this going to slot in? You know, here we have basically the master of Cyber Dragging making the decision that in a deck that's already pushing almost 50 cards, he's up to 49, that the RB cards are worth incorporating. And I'm really curious to see exactly how he's done that.
Yeah, my favorite part about the RB cards is going to be the spell card RB Stage Landing. It's not once per turn, and it can just special summon an RB monster from your deck or extra deck. But it looks like Jermaine is going to be going second, but that he's going to be the first to activate a card. Going to start with Perilia, and the Perilia is really good against Vanquish Soul, and it's going to result in just a pass here from Giovanni. Now the field's wide open for Jermaine and his Cyber Dragon deck.
Salesman
in the main deck.
I don't know what he called.
Yeah, that was tough. We were too excited about Salesman, but maybe he called something like a Fake Failure, Nibiru. But he's going to start off with a Cyber Dragon core. On normal summon, he's going to be able to add a Cyber Dragon spell or trap the hand, but Giovanni says no.
Okay, so it wasn't Ash Blossom. That's not unbanned.
He didn't Salesman. Yeah, let's go take a moment to talk about Salesman. It's very similar to Prohibition, if you're familiar with that old school card, but you get to declare a card name, and for the rest of the turn for your opponent, they can't use it, but you can't use it yourself for the rest of the game.
Absolutely. Ooh, polymerization.
Polymerization removing to fusion summon Cyber Eleton and Cyber Dragon Core for presumably a Cyber Dragon fusion monster. Like I said, this is not a deck that we're super familiar with. Oh no, this is not the Cyber Dragon fusion monster. I think this is, it's a tough one to say. Oh, do you want to take a stab at that name?
Can I just call it the Mechanical Dog?
Yeah, the Mechanical Dog. Let me pull it up real fast. Let's see. So when this card is fusion summoned during the standby phase of the next turn, you can add a card from your graveyard to your hand. But when your opponent activates a spell or trap card, you can banish a face-up Light Machine monster or 2 Light Machine monsters, negate the activation if you control 2. Interesting. Really cool card. Like I said, we're going to see some things that we haven't seen before from Jermaine, and he's always playing like kind of off-the-wall strategies in his Cyber Dragon deck, but he loves Cyber Dragons.
I know, and we were told that Jermaine was playing Cyber Dragons. You know, there's, no pun intended, a core of Cyber Dragon cards that you look at, that you often see. He's really going through just a myriad of different Cyber Dragon card effects, both in the main deck and his extra deck, so.
Yeah, unfortunately, no RB cards here from Jermaine. That would have been really easy to get a lot of damage out there fast with the RB cards, but doesn't have access to them just yet. And during the end phase, Giovanni's going to activate Bystial Magnet, banishing that Cyber Dragon core. Does have effect in the graveyard, even though not able to use it just yet because Jermaine didn't have, or Giovanni didn't have any monsters. But now the end phase, Bystial Magnet is going to add a Bystial monster from the deck or graveyard to the hand, or any dragon. But we'd assume it's going to be a Bystial here.
Yeah, I think he's deciding between Jerusalem and Baldrake. Now that's one of the things that we're going to see in Vanquish Souls. The Bystials line up fairly well into the format. I think that's pretty evident.
There you go.
Yeah,
this deck wants dark monsters.
Makes
How
a
many
lot of
Bystials
sense.
is the right number? 2, 3. I mean, I've seen players elect to play, you know, 3 or 4 different in their deck.
Definitely. I'm always a big fan of like one Magnet, one Jerusalem, one Baldrake, just to have that different targets for your Magnet and stuff. But you can definitely go beyond that with how good those cards can line up against some of the strategies in the current format. So during the standby phase, he's going to add back that polymerization thanks to the Mechanical Dawn.
I'm not sure there are actually any Vanquish Soul cards besides the, looks like the field spell in his hand, which means he might be playing the old Bystial Beatdown.
I was going to say, Bystial Beatdown sounds good to me, and that is on the menu. He's going to banish the Cyber Eleton out of Jermaine's graveyard.
Special summon the Baldrake?
Yes.
Especially in the sense that he is playing against a strategy that has light and dark monsters, light especially. So if there are any decks that you're hoping to play against when you're stuck on Bystial Beatdown, it is a strategy in which you can inherently just special summon them from your hand without having to worry about putting darks or lights in your own graveyard.
Definitely. And now it looks like Giovanni's going to move to put his Bystial monsters in the graveyard for a link summon of Nightmare Cerebus.
This is actually a really important card in the Vanquish Soul extra deck. It might not necessarily seem like it. It's a link monster that's been around for a while, but this deck may struggle otherwise with Babushka. So having a Link 2 monster that can help Babushka reliably is really important.
All right, so we've gone from Bystial Beatdown to Nightmare Beatdown, as Cerebus is going to be able to attack directly after clearing out the monster out of the way. He discarded a copy of Fantastical Dragon Phantasme in the main deck. Maybe Giovanni's wanting to hedge his bets against Malice here this weekend by including a card like that.
Yeah, it's also just another monster that has just the proper attribute, right?
Yes.
Dark is an
very
attribute
true.
that you really rely on in the Vanquish Soul strategy.
You really can like tech out your Vanquish Soul deck in different ways based on the attributes that you need. That's an important point.
Hand interactions like Ghost Spell is another. I'm not sure if he's playing that in his main deck, but you know, that's Earth, right? It's just another one of those attributes that fulfills something that's not the case with the Mulcharmies. You know, it's one of the downsides of playing the Mulcharmies is potentially if you go first
I will normal summon
and you have a Mulcharming hand, it might not line up attribute-wise. It's just not going to.
Definitely, but Jermaine's still not drawing any RB cards out of his deck. He needs the RB stage landing, but isn't able to find it, so plays pass back to Giovanni, who finally drew into a Vanquish Soul monster. And even though we talked about how he doesn't have to get the trap card anymore, he already has a copy of that brand new field spell, Vanquish Soul Start, in the hand, so he does in fact just go for the Snow Devil, because probably not anything else to add from his deck otherwise.
No, he does. He's not playing the Dust Devil, so he's only playing those two. So this is a brand new field spell, as you commented on earlier. It, in and of itself, is not a starter. However, if you do have another Vanquish Soul monster on the field, it can serve as a starter. And then in addition to that, you can set the trap card Snow Devil during the end phase. He's not going to be able to do that because he just searches it out, but sort of in the most ideal scenario where you're just naturally drawing Mad Love, resolving Mad Love by searching out Soul Start. You can then use Soul Start to get the plays going and also set that Snow Devil during the end phase.
Yep, and we see he is getting started here. Game on. Going to target his Mad Love so he can add a Vanquish Soul with a different attribute.
Absolutely.
Maybe he goes... So downside, you can't add Heavy Borger. Heavy Borger is also a dark, which is usually the ideal one you want to have alongside one singular Vanquish Soul monster, but he will get Vanquish Soul Rosin, which is still usable if you can find a way to spell some from his hand. The Nightmare Service is kind of like being in that extra monster zones, holding him back a little bit from being able to go into Rock of the Vanquisher.
Yeah, I'm curious what type of Link 3 monsters he might have, or just other Link 2s he may have in his deck.
Thinking. Yes.
You know, the Cerberus is one of those where it's like, okay, this is my out to Babushka. It's like, okay, well, it's on the field. What's next?
Yeah, it occupies its own, but it does look like Jermaine has a copy of Mulcharmy Fuwalos, and that's going to be sent to the graveyard. So for the rest of the turn, if Giovanni decides to summon from his deck or extra deck, Jermaine will be drawing a card. Moving on to his next move, he already has the Heavy Borger in hand, so he's going to return the Dr. Madlove to the hand. Heavy Borger is going to come down. Let's see if he's going to use the Reveal a Dark effect to draw a card.
Yeah, well, we know he has the Madlove, so it makes sense to do so.
You may cut.
Make sure the deck is shuffled before he draws a fresh card to the hand. Heavy Borger is really the first card that sold me on Vanquish Soul. When I first read that card, I was like, okay, there's something here. You're able to summon a monster from your hand that just lets you draw a free card. It also has like the burn damage you can do on the backside, which adds up really quickly on doing it on your turn, your opponent's turn, your turn again. And now he's getting that damage across, and getting any damage, as I mentioned, a Heavy Borger can finish off games quickly.
I mean, it basically is 3,000 life points over the course of that 2-turn rotation if it stays on the field. Plus, we're seeing some Vanquish Soul players incorporate a Nash Knight package that actually utilizes some of the Masquerade, the Umbrella Horror Masquerade out of the extra deck to be able to deal damage that way as well. So sometimes you just very swiftly can lose 8,000 damage when you combine multiple Heavy Borger activations with Masquerade from the extra deck, and then Soul Snow Devil also dealing damage as well.
Certainly, it adds up really quickly. But yeah, we really see like this Nightmare Cerberus is kind of putting the Giovanni in a tough position, because he really needs to be able to summon that Rock of the Vanquisher to continue his plays, to get the rosin out of his hand onto the field.
This guy from
That's correct.
This game.
Yeah, that's correct.
I will proceed to end phase.
Yeah.
Pass turn.
All right, so just with the trap set, Heavy Borger on the field.
Yes.
He could dig through his deck to try and find some interruptions.
Yes.
Or he could start trying to whittle away at Jermaine's life points. He only has 2,300 left, it looks like, so a couple activations from Heavy Borger could really seal the deal.
One interesting thing is that Vanquish Soul Snow Devil, if you were able to reveal all 3 attributes, technically destroys all monsters on the field. Now, typically when we think about that card, we see it and we think, okay, it's only going to destroy my opponent's monsters. Well, that's because it has a built-in effect of protecting your Vanquish Souls from being destroyed. It would actually destroy that Nightmare Cerberus.
Ooh. That's interesting, but we do see a sales ban. I don't know what he called, but then it's going to be followed up by Cyber Emergency, so he's going to at least be able to access the Cyber Dragon portion of his deck. Still no RB stage landing quite just yet. But Jermaine is definitely in an emergency, so he's going to be able to add a Cyber Dragon card from the deck to the hand.
And there are a lot of them that he can add.
There are a lot of them.
I can't even begin to put into words how many he has in his deck.
He also plays like the Cyber Dark cards. It looks like he's looking at Cyber Dark
Cyber Jormungandr.
Jormungandr.
May I read that card?
Absolutely.
Yep.
May I read that card?
And including this card, you have 2 in hand.
Correct.
Yes.
Giovanni giving a read of this. This is what we were commenting on earlier. There is a ton of different Cyber Dragon cards, and this is one that you may not have as much familiarity with.
So if you special or equip, it locks you into machine monsters.
Anything on resolution?
Yep, Cyber Jormungandr. It's out of Alliance Insight.
Nothing on resolution.
Okay.
So it does look like it resolves and it's able to add to the hand. It's a monster that can do a lot. It's going to be able to come from the hand to the field or equip itself to a Cyber Dragon. Let's see what he decides to do with it.
The special summon and then special or equip.
Correct.
In chain, I will activate Holy Sue.
Oh, and here we see the first activation of Holy Sue.
Yep, Holy Sue is going to be able to reveal a monster hand as we special summon from the hand as a quick effect. So it looks like he's choosing to equip a Cyber Dragon card to the Jormungandr. Or is he going to equip the Jormungandr to the Cyber Dragon?
Attention, you duelist.
He's not going. He's just going to summon it, not use it as a equip card. Makes a lot of sense.
Anything in the open game stage?
In open game.
So one of the things just about Vanquish Souls in general, and this is the case certainly when you're playing into this, trying to keep track of what attributes that you know your opponent has. We saw both that Raisin and Mad Lab either be searched or returned back to the hand over the course of the last turn. So we knew this Holy Sue had the ability to reveal an Earth and a Dark, sorry, a Fire and a Dark Raisin, and Mad Lab to special summon a non-psychic, meaning basically anything but itself, from the deck. And now he's able to put the copy of Raisin on the field, which now allows him to search Caesar.
And more importantly, lining up. But smart stuff here. You can see Jermaine knows the Vanquish Soul strategy a little well because he summoned that Cyber Dragon underneath that Nightmare Cerebus. So he's at least putting Giovanni in a position where he's going to have to destroy his own card. But to his own advantage, because he doesn't want that Nightmare Cerebus there anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting quirk here that Cerebus may have been kind of interfering with his own plays. But yeah, that is very insightful, Billy. If you're playing against this strategy, you definitely want to be wary that Raisin gets to destroy within the column. But that's why you want to summon basically underneath the extra monster zone that the Rock the Vanquisher would typically be located. Obviously,
WCQ.
Another just important thing to note is when you play against Vanquish Souls, you should use that as information for potentially some of the cards they may choose to side, because that deck needs to leverage just those 3 attributes in order for it to function as well as it would like, which means cards like, DD Crow, Nibiru, they don't line up well into just what that deck is inherently trying to do, so you might not anticipate those cards being in the deck.
Okay, so I heard it this time. I made sure to listen. Droll and Lockbird.
Okay.
So that's probably what he called on the previous game as well. He's going for the high impact disruptions from the hand. And now he's going to discard the Cyber Dark Chimera. Is it the Cyber Dark Claw? I think that's Claw, but it's able to add a Cyber Dark card from the deck to the hand. Very good Cyber Dark.
That is indeed Claw. I don't think he has Droll and Lockbird in his hand, though. It looks like there might be maybe a Phantasma in there.
Cyber Dark Realm.
All right, he's going to add Cyber Dark Realm from the deck to the hand.
Looks like there is a Holy Sue in his hand, though, which he can summon on this turn if he has the proper attributes to go along with it. That Earth and Dark to take control of a monster, and maybe potentially that Fire or Dark initially.
Yep, so the Cyber Dark Realm is going to continue his plays to be able to access another Cyber Dark monster with a different name from the one in his graveyard. And it also gives him an extra normal summon for Cyber Dark monsters.
What language is it?
It's Italian.
Italian?
Yeah.
Do you mind if I look at the card?
Polynesian.
Yeah. So he's getting the translation for the card, I think, but when he found out it's Italian, Giovanni might be able to read a little bit of Italian. You might know a little bit about that. G Orlando.
Yeah, just a little bit. Not fluent. Don't even pretend, but.
But it looks like he's at least going to attempt to read it in Italian. I can't. I've done the same thing with French cards, where I'm like, oh, I can read it. And I'm like, maybe I should just read the English one just in case.
Maybe a lot of viewers at home can relate to this, but let's just say I picked up on some very particular Italian words growing up at those large family gatherings for the holidays.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And then if you equip, you're going to equip from the opponent's. Okay, yeah. So it's Cyber Dark from the opponent's grave.
Anything for resolution?
No, you're good.
Okay.
So he does ask for resolution on summon, though, of course, as we know, Drone Lockbird has been banned for this particular turn.
All right, let's see what Cyber Dark he's going to go for. Maybe Cyber Dark Worm could be the case here. Looks like it's Cyber Dark Chimera, though.
Additional normal summon of the Cyber Dark monster.
Yes.
So he's going to use his extra normal summon here on Cyber Dark Chimera. Cyber Dark Chimera can discard a spell or trap to add a power bond from your deck to your hand.
Which we know is included in this Cyber Dark deck, so or the Cyber Dragon, Cyber Dark variant.
This is an activated effect.
And for the rest of the turn, he'll be able to fusion summon using monsters from his graveyard and be able to banish it, kind of similar to the Lunalight Masquerade.
Once I get the translation, I'll have a potential response. Yeah.
Looks like all of his cards might be in Italian.
I like his style.
For the turn,
It's alright, thanks to things like Yu-Gi-Oh! Neuron, it's really easy to look up cards and read their text.
And I wish I had that when I was a much more active player.
Smartphones changed everything. I remember dueling pre-smartphone, yeah. But it looks like this is going to finally prompt the response, and we're going to see Vanquish Soul Holly Sue be activated. Reveal another Vanquish Soul monster, special summon it from the hand.
So this is a relatively low percentage thing that can happen, but it is something you need to be aware of. For this to happen, you're going to need your opponent to have a Holly Sue, so have a naturally drawn it. For this to be an interaction, they either already need an Earth and Dark monster, which again, it's a deck filled with Earth and Dark monsters, or alternatively have a Fire and Dark monster so that they can summon the Raisin, which we see here, which can usually then add the Earth monster that you need because you would have already needed a Dark monster in order to summon it in the first place.
There is an Earth monster he's adding it, just as you said.
An open game state?
So now he's going to, in this open game state, reveal an Earth and a Dark monster and take control of the Chimera.
Okay.
And it even puts, he's using the Rosin effect to destroy it in the column.
Yeah.
But it even puts the Caesar Valleys in the hand to also be summoned for another disruption on Jermaine's first turn.
Yeah.
Jermaine and Giovanni, they both have very similar names, so I'm trying to like stay focused on them, not say their names together.
Don't throw my last name into that sentence.
It's almost like a J. J Orlando?
Yeah.
Close. But here's the Cyber Dark Worm. So now that the Chimera went to the graveyard, it lets him add a Cyber Dark of a different name as well. So we're getting the Cyber Dark flow will continue. Cyber Dark Worm, kind of similar to a Mathmech Circular, where you're able to special summon it from your hand by sending something to the graveyard. Oh, it just sends it to the graveyard, it looks like. But then you get to add a card back from your graveyard.
Mathmech Circular is a fan favorite.
Yeah, especially that kind of effect has become like notorious with a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards for a lot of different themes.
We had that conversation yesterday about like the original one gets to just be like Stratos now. That term, that name is now just used throughout all of Yu-Gi-Oh history. Circular will be one of those as well.
So it can summon from the graveyard, it looks like. So he's going to be able to send the Cyber Dragon core to the graveyard to special summon it back.
His effect's only once per turn, correct?
It's only one per turn, yes.
And then he can add a Cyber Spell or Trap from his graveyard to his hand if he has one in there, but I don't think he's put one in there just yet.
This is insightful also. No, he just verified that Raisin is only a once per turn effect, so he elected just to put it into that column. You know, he doesn't know if there's maybe other effects. I know there's a Spell and Trap destruction effect too that also matters for the column. So, but it is just important to note that if you're going to put a monster in that column to double check that it's only once per turn.
Yep, and now since he has a continuous spell on the field, he's going to Link Summon for Clockwork Knight to try and use its effect there, and that's going to be met by a Fantastical Dragon Phantasme, and that's going to let him draw some cards.
I will draw 2, shuffle 1 back.
But Jermaine will still be able to use the Clockwork Knight effect to add a card from his deck to the hand. That's going to be not the same Clockwork Knight, but the spell card Clockwork Knight.
You see him actually
Night
thinking about putting back the there can only be one.
Okay, so I'll resolve.
Really good card in Vanquish Soul since all the different attributes for sure. Phantasme let Giovanni dig a little deeper into the deck. We still haven't seen an RB stage landing. I'm hoping it's just waiting in the weights in the hand.
On the resolution?
Yes.
Do you have anything?
Nothing.
I will use Caesar Valleys. I will target the Holy Suit.
It might not look like it, but I just want to remind the viewers that this is Jermaine's first turn.
Vanquish Soul can play a lot if you draw the right combination of cards on your opponent's first turn, especially with Holly Sue straight out of Duelist Advance.
It should also be noted that imagine how many cards you would have drawn if Jermaine had opened. Not that this is necessarily the best thing to do, but with Perulia.
Yeah, definitely. The Perulia would have saved him here in this game.
Which is not something you usually say go first. Yeah, not something you normally say.
But you might as well use it. Use it or lose it pretty much when it comes to that in your hand once you establish a field. But now he's going to activate the Clockwork Knight, so all monsters are going to become machine monsters on the field.
Just attack?
Attack and defense.
And defense?
Yes.
That's fine.
Nothing on resolution?
Yes.
Let's see where he goes next.
Caesar Valley.
If he just needs to get a couple monsters on the field too to be able to maybe link summon for the link 2 for RB.
Or reveal.
You can contact for Chimera Tech too.
Attributes.
If he has a Cyber Dragon.
That could be something that Jermaine's looking to do.
What's the public knowledge that I noticed in your hand so far?
I revealed for Holy Sue and Raisin Fire Dart. I revealed Mad Love, Raisin, Holy Sue.
Okay.
So just the kind of courtesy of double checking what cards have been revealed for the Vanquish Soul cards.
I will.
He still has his normal summon. He only uses extra normal summon before, so now he's going to use his normal summon on Droll and Lockbird. He did Sales Ban Droll and Lockbird, so he won't be able to use that for the remainder of the duel. But you can still normal summon it.
Yeah, you're not activating any effects.
2 cards in hand, correct?
That is kind of where Prohibition and Sales Ban differ from each other.
That is fine.
It is kind of funny to see that though. You Sales Ban Droll with it in your hand.
Shout outs to Drollbird. It came in a couple times.
Clockwork Knight. Tribute for cost to target.
Kind of reminds me of like Christian Urena. I think he put Drollbird on his deck list last year for the points playoff instead of Droll and Lockbird. So I've seen Drollbird before. I played these games before, and now Ghost Bell is going to stop. But called by the grave for Ghost Bell.
The 1 out of 49.
That is fine.
So
One thing to note just about Vanquish Souls in general, if they're low on resources, every hand interaction they use, that's one of those 3 key attributes, Fire, Dark, and Earth, can actually stymie their future plays. So that's just something to note if you're ever playing against this strategy, that every time they were to use something like Ghost Spell, you should register like, okay, that's one less Earth monster they could potentially have in their hand.
All right, revealing the 3 different attributes to go after Cyber Dragon Core here with Caesar Valius and send it right back to the graveyard from which it came.
Thinking.
Yes.
It's like Jermaine is slowly running out of resources somehow on his first turn. I'm just so amazed. This is really just the perfect testament to some of the high upside that the Vanquish Soul strategy has. You know, if you're one of those players that likes the idea of having hand interactions that are in-engine, in addition to just the natural hand interactions like Bystials and Ghost Bell and Ash Blossom, this might really be the strategy for you, because think about just how much Giovanni's been able to accomplish here on essentially his turn 0, and he hasn't even had his first draw phase yet.
It's our turn, not just your turn right now, but Jermaine, just sets it. I mean, this is heads up by Giovanni, not letting Jermaine stick a Cyber Dragon card or ever getting 2 machine monsters on the field to really progress his plays, and that's just going to stop Jermaine. He wasn't able to draw any RB cards. Like, the RB cards kind of like help the fact that, like, when they're able to take your monsters off the field, when you can activate something like RB Stage Landing just to special summon an RB monster like that for free, but unfortunately not.
Standby main phase.
So he's going to take out the spell and trap card there, and now he's going into the main phase. He's going to use Raisin to reveal the Fire and Dark to destroy the Clockwork Knight.
I have this. This is
Jermaine's RB Cyber Dragon strategy might be about to be vanquished here after his life meter is depleted down to 0. Holly Sue's going to activate the effect, and it's looking like Vanquish Soul's moments away from being able to take this. But this is only going to be Jermaine's first loss, so he will be able to move on after this.
We heard earlier that he has made day 2 before, I presume, with Cyber Dragon. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah, his tournament's not over yet.
Yes.
18 from Ryzen.
All your monsters lose 500 attack and defense.
Yes. 13.
All right, so maybe it's not enough with the minus 500. It's still a lot of damage. I'm going to let them do the math.
There's also Heavy Borger on the field, so,
yeah, so
he only needs 5,000.
Yeah, it's for sure all she wrote.
24.
19. That's
What's interesting, Heavy Borger actually requires that you return a non-machine. It didn't matter in this game, but all of his monsters would be machines, right? With Clockwork on the field.
Oh,
it's just an interaction that could have happened in this particular duel.
Because he just summoned it from his deck here with Holly Sue, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then Burger Effect, reveal Fire, Earth.
burn for 1,000.
Burger Effect to burn for the last amount of damage in the fighting game strategy.